Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Come see us at the Blue Ox.
Welcome back in. It is the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show right here on Comcast Beach TV and the strongest signal Ravens affiliate on the Eastern Shore, 93.5 The Beach, broadcasting from the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City with Ravens Roost 44. Give yourselves a hand, guys. And of course, we invite all Ravens fans to come down. Sussex County, Worcester County, Wycomico, Somerset, no matter where you're on Delmarva, we would love to have you here every Wednesday, 7 o'clock at the Blue Ox Bar and Grill. Want to thank our sponsors, of course, the original Green Turtle, the Blue Ox, Bud Light, the Comfort Inn Gold Coast, that is, Geico, the Ocean City Golf Club, jctickets.net, and the Holiday Inn Express. Hey, wanted to make mention, by the way, next Tuesday, outside linebacker Paul Kruger is going to be making an appearance at the Seaford Subway from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, what they're asking is you bring some Ravens stuff to be signed, a $20 autograph. It's going to be donated to benefit the Nanticoke Health Systems with some of the things they're doing with child care. So that's something you may want to check out at the Seaford Subway there on Stein Highway. That's 11 to 1 on Tuesday, the 21st. Again, don't forget, next week we won't have a show with the Thanksgiving holiday. And then we're back at it in a couple of weeks on the 28th. And again, we're giving yourself a chance, that is, to win tickets to see the Ravens and the Redskins in December. And of course, we're hoping to have Billy Carter from BJ's to come on down for the show. Just like we've got Bucksy, who's our special guest here on Steeler Week. And let's get into it, folks. The Ravens, the Steelers, 8:20 Sunday Night Football. It's a quirk in the schedule. I mean, you've got at the Steelers, then at the Chargers, and then home against the Steelers. 2 Steeler games in 3 weeks. That's a lot to put on both the Ravens and the Steelers. Bucksy, I know we were talking off camera about that. Look, I know there are quirks in the NFL schedule. It's never going to be perfect. But for these two teams, which everybody said is the best rivalry in football, how could you possibly do this?
Well, wait, Bucksy, let me just say, we got to talk about the big event before the game this week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got a great event coming up this Saturday.
That's right.
There's bragging rights before the
game. We have
I apologize.
We have a big 5K race. Right. It's starting Saturday morning, 9 o'clock on the boardwalk, and it's pitted against Raven fans and Steeler fans. And, John, I know you'll be out there running bright and early, 9 a.m. You can register early that Saturday morning or Friday night. Come on into the
At
Salty
27th
Dog.
Street.
27th Street. That's where it's starting on the boardwalk. It's going down and coming back. Bobby, you said you were running, and I'm going to get a rickshaw and have somebody pull me.
Papa's going to pull you.
Yeah, Papa said he would. But and it goes to Believe in Tomorrow. A lot of the proceeds go to Believe in Tomorrow and Ocean City Paramedic Foundation. So it should be a good time, and I hope everybody can make it. Ravens, Steeler fans, it's all.
Well,
all for a good cause.
I know there are going to be a couple of members of Ravens Roost 44 in there. They're going to be meeting at 8:30 down there. Also, I've got some friends from Baltimore that have been talking about this actually for months, so they're looking forward to it. So it's a great event, and again, some bragging rights before bragging rights.
Exactly,
right?
And this is the best rivalry in football,
absolutely,
bar none.
Absolutely.
And we're bringing the fans from both sides, and I know it can get heated. And even you guys can throw stuff at John. Wow, I haven't seen that before.
Our own internal.
I'm taking all the bullets for you.
What color are you going to wear? Are you going to wear black and gold or black and purple? We don't know. We're not sure. Black and gold or black and purple?
I got a Steelers uniform.
I just wear gray.
There you go.
He lives in
kind of his mood.
He lives in the gray. Yeah, he lives in the gray.
But it will be a good time, and we hope everybody can get down there. At least, And like Papo was saying earlier, if you need a table, Salty Dog, come on down. No, and others, on another note, this is a great room. This is a great Ravens room, you know.
Thank you,
It's
Thank
it is lacking a little black and gold here and there, but that's all right. We'll forgive you.
Well, two games in 3 weeks. I tell you, I mean, it's great for the rivalry. I don't know though if the players don't need a few more weeks between these games.
They're still going to be sore from this game.
Yeah, exactly.
2 weeks down the road.
Right.
And as we were talking, it's all NFL scheduling, TV. It's unfortunate because we'd like to see a game early and late. Obviously, on both sides of the coin
Absolutely.
there. But it is what we're dealt with, and we'll make the most of it. I hope you guys get to see Ben Roethlisberger in at least one of the games, but I don't know. We'll talk about that.
Well, we'll delve into it now. That's the big news, and a couple of different articles coming out. But the one that I picked up off of ESPN, Roethlisberger quoted on Wednesday as saying, "I can move the arm around. That's not the issue. Sometimes when I do move it, the rib will kind of pop out of place, which is pretty painful. I just try to keep it as still as I can for the most part." He had a sprain to his SC joint in his shoulder, but the rib is the bigger issue, folks. Bottom line is, if he goes out there and plays, that rib could potentially damage his aorta, which has to do with the heart. So he's out for the game Sunday against the Ravens. Byron Leftwich will start in his place. But Bucksy, he could be out several weeks. I can see him not only being out this game, I can see him being out in the game 2 weeks against 2 weeks down the road against the Ravens, and maybe even further out. One report had him out 6 weeks. That's nothing he wants to fool with when you're talking about the aorta.
Exactly, and I'm sure they're going to let the doctors decide that, but he might be out the rest of the season. Let's be realistic about it. But, as every NFL team and the Steelers, next man up, and we hope Leftwich can do the job. He's no Roethlisberger by any means, but you want him to be Ben to be healthy, and hopefully when we get into the playoffs and when we see the Ravens for the third time of the year, and he'll be there for that game.
Well, you have to say, if there's a team that's built to do this, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. And on the other end, I Ben Roethlisberger is a top 5 quarterback. I believe he is an elite quarterback. You take him off that team, you're losing a lot. But in your case, you've got a guy like Leftwich and even Batch behind him. You're in pretty good shape. If you took Flacco out of the Ravens right now, we had to go with Tyrod Taylor. The Ravens would be in deep trouble. So, Pittsburgh's got the #1 defense in football. They've been running the ball pretty well. And they've got a guy that's a seasoned veteran as a quarterback. So for you Ravens fans out there that think this is going to be an easy game this week, there's no way it's ever easy going to Pittsburgh. I don't care who the quarterback is, even though they are 0-4 against the Ravens without Ben Roethlisberger.
But the margin in that game, just 6 points. Mm-hmm. So it's been close. Dennis Dixon a few years ago went to overtime Sunday night in Baltimore, against Charlie Batch a few years ago. That was a close game as well.
3 points in that game.
3 points in that game. I guess, Bucksy, the question we have to ask is, okay, you go from Roethlisberger to Leftwich. You've got a new offensive coordinator. Leftwich hasn't had a time to get a lot of reps because backup quarterbacks don't. There's also been a lot of talk that he doesn't fit the offense, that, he's a guy that throws down the field. This new offense with Todd Haley's get rid of the ball quick. Leftwich has got that long, wind-up kind of baseball motion that may not really fit this offense. There's talk, too. Was he the right guy as a backup quarterback for this offense? You know better than any of us. Talk about that.
Well, they call that offense the dink and dunk. Most of the passes are 5 yards, 10 yards. But it has opened up a new dimension to their game. I think everybody in this room knows the Steelers are going to try their best to run the ball and run it right down the throat of the Ravens, and that's where the game's going to be. If that happens, that long ball for Mike Wallace down Highway 20, right down the middle, I think that might open up. But that's it's to answer that question. Yeah, it's a different quarterback, but they're going to play to his strengths, and try to keep it conservative.
Yeah, and I actually don't think the dink and dunk fits the Steelers' personnel.
Yeah.
I think the only guy that could be hurt a little bit with this is Heath Miller's production, in the middle of the field, short. But you have a lot of speed on the outside in Pittsburgh with Emmanuel Sanders now getting more time with Antonio Brown out, and then of course Mike Wallace on the other side. So I see you pounding the rock, and then Leftwich does have a gun, and it takes a long time for it to get out of his hand. So if Wallace can get behind the Ravens secondary or Sanders, and Leftwich can make a play or two here, then in a Steelers-Ravens game, we know how it goes. It's a play or two. Almost always, it's a play or two. So Leftwich has the capability to do that. I'm actually disappointed that Roethlisberger's hurt. I mean, I'm obviously a Ravens fan. I want to see the Ravens win, but it's like
there's some question about that.
But I mean, you want to beat your rival when they're at their best. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's like
Well,
fighting your brother. You want to, you just want to. I don't know. There's no solace in beating up on on your rival when they're already beaten up.
But as you said, though, there's no gimme with this. Bucks, we haven't stopped the run this year at all. We've had issues, and you may get Mendenhall back.
And Mendenhall will be back.
So,
this week. So
you've got three backs to go to. Isaac Redmond, actually a former Bowie State grad from Maryland. So, that could be a situation that sets it up perfectly in the play action pass for Wallace. I think Antonio Brown, they say questionable. I think he's going to be out. That could hurt, though, because that's your second vertical threat that now we don't have to pay attention to that. We can focus more on Wallace.
Well, I think the unsung hero right now, or one of the dominant players for their offense is Heath Miller. And he is like a wide receiver. He's a big boy, goes down the middle, he's not afraid. That's a quick 15 yards, and they're using him a lot. Besides losing Brown, we got Sanders, Crabtree. You got three really good wide receivers still. So I think we're in good shape.
I think that's what's going to be fun watching the game. You look at a Steelers offense that was really clicking on all cylinders until Monday night because they didn't play well in the first half against Kansas City. But before that, they were starting to really gel. Ben was having one of his best teams ever, arguably an MVP type season. And to lose him and have a guy like Leftwich come in, what will they look like this week? You talked about the dink and dunk, and one of the things that's been said about Todd Haley, one of the reasons they were doing that was to protect Ben Roethlisberger. We know he's a guy that holds onto the ball. We know he's a guy that will get hit, but he's been a tough guy.
Because he extends plays.
He does extend plays, and that's what beats you all the time. Now you got a guy like Leftwich, if he holds onto the ball and that offensive line can't protect him, that could be devastating because for Steelers fans, because it could create some turnovers for the Ravens.
He's definitely, and believe it or not, less mobile than Ben Roethlisberger. And so that's going to be, it's got to be quick for him.
Maybe less mobile than Joe Flacco.
I think Joe would beat him in a 50-yard race.
Byron Leftwich can't move very well, and it'll be interesting to see if Leftwich does struggle. Will they go to Charlie Batch? Are they married to Leftwich as their backup? Is he the guy, or is this going to be kind of a test to see how he plays the first half? And maybe they go with Charlie Batch because maybe, like you said, Mike, maybe he fits that offense a little bit better.
They're going to sign Antoine Randall for the fourth.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
Well, they're not signing Dennis Dixon.
Dennis Dixon back on our practice squad. So
we're talking all about the weapons they have, but we all know the game's going to be won on that front line. And it's if the Steelers can push it 4 yards at a time, 5 yards, they are going to try to run it right down.
Yeah, sorry, Bucksy. I mean, we were talking about that off air here. I mean, the Steelers were starting. They had a rough start, like you said, and they were really starting to round into form. They were reminding me, at least, of the Giants last year. They're not a very exciting team, not a very sexy team, really, but they were pounding you up front, and they could complete the passes, and they were just very efficient on both sides of the ball. And now losing Ben, obviously hurts that, but I agree with you, Mike. Leftwich is good enough to make a difference here.
All right, we'll pick up the conversation. It is Steeler Week. Ravens Steelers, 8:20 Sunday Night Football. We're back with more. It's the Ravens Wrap Show on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, 93.5 The Beach. We're back.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.